Hey there, dear Spellweaver community, and welcome back to another patch update video. The patch of May 23rd, or maybe not a patch, yeah, well it is kinda, it's May 23rd, balance changes. So, the thing is, yesterday I was playing Conquest. I decided not to release the footage because made some poor life decisions in that, and what I came across, or what I discovered while I was playing, is that people were talking about some card changes that I wasn't aware of, and then I played a game and I was like, yeah, there are some pretty weird changes. Some of them, by the way, I don't condone. Like, I've read through a couple of them, didn't go into too much detail yet because I want to discover that with you guys. But yeah, some I don't like. I can understand them, however, and some others where I'm just like, the card is still in the game, so you haven't changed it yet, you haven't properly balanced it, but we get to that in a little bit. So here's the forum post from IFCO. Welcome to the biggest balance patch we have had for quite a while. A certain number of cards have been on our radar for some time. The reason why we continued to keep things without changes was that while some cards were overpowered, the game balance was in a fine spot overall. Yeah, I definitely agree. Because I haven't seen, neither in rank nor in friendlies, friendlies that is like filled with soldiers because of newer players, I assume, but rank-wise, I think we're in kind of a good place, even though rank 1 to 10 are filled with white ticks, Yiddix, Comsiant, however you want to call the hero. Still, yeah, overall, like, there is not one deck that is, like, being played over and over again. It's pretty much spread out at this point. There was a lot of good decks to play, maybe around 20. It's a little bit too much, I think. But Zombies, Corruption Control, Azara's Decay, like the Molten Passageway with Azara's, General Milling, General Motors, Soldiers, Rage Rush, Rage Wisdom, fuck that crap, One Turn Heal. Haven't seen Elves because they are terrible. Zombies. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's about everything that I can name off the top of my head that is actually being played at the moment. So yeah, we're kind of in a good spot. And, oh, of course, also Valor Rage, Valor Chicken, and fuck, Artifacts, of course. Which is unheard of in any card game. Yeah, definitely, even though I think that's a little bit too much. We didn't want to put the metagame into chaos and potentially risk ending up in a worse spot. With the first Ancient Rising, all that changed. Inevitably, some of the new cards fit well into existing and strong deck archetypes and things get out of hand quickly. Currently, the top decks are sharply shifting anyway. So, we will use this opportunity to bring a lot of cards in check. These are all cards that have been problematic for a long time and will continue creating problems in the future. I forgot to mention, by the way, Hermillion, of course, Healmillion. Angels, also, coming back with the new Ancients Rising, with the new Angel that is being added. Of course, we couldn't help but notice that the new Whitix, Yiddix, Comsiant hero seems to be very powerful, and a couple of other newly released cards might also require attention. However, we can't make changes to these cards that soon after the release. We will handle any balance issues with the new cards after the Masters Final on June 2nd, when we have more insight into the situation. Yeah, I think Masters is actually a pretty good way to see how overpowered and how much they might change the thing. Even though that's not really possible if Whitix, Yiddix, Comsiant is getting banned in every game, which probably could happen. Please note that with this patch, we want to leave all affected cards in the playable territory, but in some cases this is too difficult to achieve. We always strive to make as many cards in the game completely playable as possible, and there will be likely a buff patch in the following month too, although we can't confirm the timing of it yet. Alright, so the first change, Trigon of the Pact. I think, by the way, this has obviously been done with the good help of the balance team. So Trigon of the Pact was always a thing that people said is definitely too strong, considering that we have the evil aspects, the Pandemonium of Darkness, which definitely isn't as powerful as the good aspect counterpart right here, because this one basically lets you buff up for 2 levels by playing 1 shrine, which is Trigon. So definitely a little bit OP. And they changed it by leveling up with this shrine now costs 1 mana. That puts a heavy dent in the Yidix, Whitix, Comsia, and Valor chicken deck, by the way. Trigon has enabled all kinds of weird aggro decks where players easily splash multiple aspects into a rage base. With its help, the most powerful cards from the aspects of good are played basically in every deck that needs them without penalty, which is simply too powerful and likely to cause problems in the future. Yeah, not only that, by the way, but also it lets you splash in basically any kind of spell as well. Just ramp up like for a wisdom and you have all the great wisdom removal cards, which is a little bit shitty. Adding to a cost to leveling up with Trigon is a logical way to reduce the tempo the dual levels provide, and in turn reduce the power level of the currently dominating aggressive decks. I like that actually. So whenever you try to level up with a Trigon, you still get like either Wisdom Order, Nature, or Wisdom Nature. You get like the 2 levels still, but you also have to pay 1 mana in order to play it. So you can't basically go you can't play you have to be very careful with the mana basically. And it definitely, as I've said, like puts a dent in the Valor Whitix, Yidix, Comsiant deck. I can get behind that, because that Trigon is this way. Trigon is still playable, but yeah, it just slows things down, which I definitely welcome. Taimea is getting changed. That's nice. Magi Wanderer, Valor decreased to... Oh, that is nice. Valor decreased to 1. Stats increased, however, to 2 attack, 3 HP. Yeah, okay. But you don't get to the... Like, you don't... Before it was like you get to put 2 Might Emblem on 2 creatures, and then you get basically a 2 card... like, you draw 2 cards if you go face with that. And you can put, of course, the Valor to Taimea, but yeah, that's a good nerf, actually. So you can only buff up 1 creature at a time. Another most include card for aggressive decks. This card can enable you to make good trades and or draw cards in a single turn for too little of a cost, definitely. We'd like Taimea to remain playable, and we believe that drawing 2 cards for basically no cost is the main problem with the card. So we are reducing the Valor value while keeping the end stats the same. This will also allow you to play Taimea as a 3/4 creature on an empty board. I like it. That's pretty good. Molten Passageway now requires 2 rage levels. Was it? Yeah, well, it came with the whole milling decks, I think, with Azaris and stuff. Recently, you the players showed us how powerful Molten Passageway could be in a deck designed to recycle the creatures by sacrificing and reanimating them. This is a nice trick, however, quickly starts to feel unfair and repetitive. No one wants to face 8+ Bezarok in a game, so we are trying to... Oh, yeah, true, you could actually do that. That's pretty nasty. So we are trying to address this particular combination without totally killing the card. I never even ran into people who... Now, man, you also have to be really... You have to be really lucky, actually, to hit like 8 Bezaroks, basically. But with 4 Molten Passageways, hitting a Bezarok every time is pretty unlikely. But yeah, I've seen Molten Passageway with dragons. I've seen it in Azaris Decay. The way I like to do it, by the way, is dropping a Molten Passageway and hitting a Phoenix, because if the Phoenix dies, in the game he dies for real, if you kill off your Phoenix, he comes back to the base with 0 mana, and Molten Passageway leaves the board. The Phoenix, however, with the 0 energy still stays, which is kind of cool, by the way. But yeah, I mean, you know, I haven't seen it too much, but I can definitely see the appeal. Harbinger of Sorrow. Stats decrease to 2 attack, 3 HP, and the number of Enchained Souls to summon is rounded down. Well, I only saw this guy. I mean, the stat decrease is definitely cool, because the body that it provided before was a little bit too much. Now, it is definitely in Fireball range, and Rage has a much more easier way to actually deal with this, which I like, because I mostly play Rage these days. Yeah, but the Enchained Souls thing, I don't know, maybe there was a deck that really like capitalized on it, but as far as I've seen it, Harbinger was always only used for the 2 Enchained Souls it provides in the first place. Harbinger of Sorrow is so powerful that nearly all corruption decks want to play it despite the life loss. Not me. Which is more than negated by the Enchained Souls you get. We'd like to keep the one-man army option for this card, but only if you build your deck specifically around the card. Alright, yeah. I mean, actually, you know, when you build like a Giara deck, that could definitely be a cool thing. Yeah, mainly like the stat decrease thing. You know, as I've said, like, I don't know if the Enchained Soul thing was actually like that powerful because I've only seen Harbinger being played for the 2 Enchained Souls, as I've stated, but yeah, the stat decrease is definitely cool because now it's actually easier to remove this this fellow, because I think that's also, I mean, 2 damage is not too much. It's basically like a zombie legionnaire, but yeah, like the body is just a little bit too much, I think, because it's really hard to remove it when you don't have like a pretty good board and don't run like good removal spells. Now it's also killable with Holy Radiance as well, by the way. So yeah, yeah, here's a card that I definitely like, that I love actually, because I love Enchained Soul things, and Haunt. Now only summons 1 Enchained Soul. It was like this before, I think. And then they buffed it, that it summons 2, and now it's back to 1. An endless stream of multiple Enchained Souls each turn becomes too much after a certain point, and even if Haunt is a very cool card to play with, it was time to end this madness. This madness! You could win entire games on the back of this 2 mana card, and that was certainly not an ideal situation. Yeah, okay. It is being played in Corruption Control. It is being played, obviously, with snacks, because it just makes sense, and, you know, like, snack triggers every goddamn turn. Still, I think that's hitting Haunt a little bit too hard now. I don't know. I don't like this change, because I really do like Haunt. And sometimes you just use it to negate a little bit of damage if the enemy has like a heavy hitter. Like a fucking Descendant of Divinity, by the way. Remove that fucking card. I see it in every fucking friendly game, and it's pissing me the fuck off at this point. But Haunt, I would keep it at 2 Enchained Souls. But that's just me. Also, the thing is, I don't run into that many Haunts also as well, and yeah. I mean, of course, that's good for vampires, because vampirism triggers every turn, and now it's only 1 Enchained Soul that they can get. But I don't know. Jerail's, okay. By the way, you mispronounced the name, first of all. Jerail Silencer, it's not Jerail's, it's Jerail's, even though I would say it's a fucking garbage card in the first place. Cost increased to 5. Wowee. You went from 4 mana to 5. Oh, that's gonna put a hard dent into... Okay, I'm a dick, I know. I fucking hate Jerail Silencer ever, and this is where I'm getting bitchy. So, yeah, that is gonna... Oh, and now I have to wait 1 more turn to drop this. I still can ramp up with New Horizons. I'm still playing 1 turn heal. I'm still gonna put this earlier on that I should... That I actually should. I'm still gonna play Rage Wisdom, and I'm still gonna put this card down, because... Fuck the entire game. Fuck everyone that I play against. I'm gonna play this in turn 4. I don't even give a damn, because I just ramp up with New Horizons that one turn that I have to wait to, as if that even fucking matters, right? However, we believe that this card is balanced. Yeah. Silencer is balanced, sure. Yeah, Silencer is balanced, and BitConnect wasn't a scam. Sure. Have you... Okay, it's not only me, by the way, who fucking hates Jerail Silencer until the end of infinity. If you look in the global chat, everyone... if you look in the forums, I started, I think, the whole shitstorm, because before me, I haven't seen anyone who was annoyed... who was fucking annoyed by this card. I fucking hate Jerail Silencer. If you look in the global chat in the game, everyone hates this card. You say it's balanced? I mean, of course, yeah. Dream Reactor listens to us. They fucking made the balance team based off of the suggestions of pro players. I get that. But in this sense, you don't listen. there is no, at least to my knowledge, there is no conceivable way to balance Jerail's Silencer. Jerail's Silencer isn't balanced. I know everyone says otherwise. I know I am not the best Spellweaver player in the world, of course. But you can't negate the fact that Jerail's Silencer is a piece of shit card and it's fucking obnoxious to fucking play against it. Because it basically locks you out. A card that the enemy plays that disables the ability of you to come back into the game, or that just like locks you out of the game, that doesn't let you play anything, is not fun. It's not. It's not fun at all. And how can this be balanced? I don't fucking get it. However, it is exceedingly unpleasant to lose to it. Yeah, tell me something new. We are trying to reduce the prevalence of Silencer in the competitive field by this change. A redesign of the card would probably be the best ideal solution. Exactly. But we are unable to do that in this update. Okay. Okay. Maybe I went a little bit too hard here. So maybe after Masters, you do the only possible way to fix Jerail's Silencer, which is fucking throw it out of the fucking game. That would be the that would be the ideal thing. And I would have a new card to bitch about, basically. But as it stands, Jerail's Silencer, wow, it's the fucking same thing with Cataclysm, by the way. And I love Cataclysm. I play it in every Dominion deck. But yeah, it's 6 mana. It's 2 aspects. I, for one, don't see it as often when I don't play against it as often. And even though I play it in basically every Dominion deck that I create, still, it's 6 mana. It basically locks you out for your entire turn. For a good reason, because you remove the entire board. Obviously, it's the best removal spell in the game, period. Because it just basically resets the state of the game to 0. To the beginning of the game with a little bit more aspects and with a little bit more mana, obviously. But still, you know, not many... I don't play against it that often. So, yeah, I think Cataclysm is in a good state by, like, playing it for 2 aspects, 6 mana. But Jerail's Silencer, still, every deck that ran it before is gonna still play it, because it's still just one more turn that you have to wait for. It's nothing. It's nothing. So yeah, the best possible way, if you really want to balance Silencer, is get it out of the game, and everything will be fine, and I'm gonna bitch about another card. Celestial Blossom, because that's the life cycle. Cost increased to 1. Celestial Blossom. Yeah, I mean, I remember good old Fuzz saying every goddamn time that this card is basically OP and that is bound to be nerfed, and now is apparently the time, because the YTX, Yiddix, Comsiant, however you want to call the new hero, that is gonna be my stick, I guess. That runs, or there's a deck with him that obviously is about artifacts, and then there's the usual artifact stuff with either Advanced Darius or how is he fucking called? Amaric, of course. Yeah, but yeah, with YTX, Yiddix, Comsiant, it became more popular, the artifact deck. So yeah, not a big surprise that this is being nerfed. And I'm pretty sure, by the way, if YTX, Yiddix, Comsiant is not gonna be banned in one of the games in Masters, we can safely assume, I think, that it's gonna be an artifact deck. Could be artifact, could be Valor Rage Chickens, which is the most likely thing, I think, because that deck is fucking OP as fuck. Not as much anymore, maybe. Or what was the other one? I think that's basically everything that they play in Ladder at this point. However, with Proto Prism, oh yeah, true, and New Horizons around, this card enables 2 degenerate turns in Wisdom Artifact decks. There we go. Basically, securing a win on turn 3 to 4. That early? Really? You can ramp up to a fucking Steel Sentient that fast? It's pretty insane. But yeah, I remember playing against Proto Prism. Fucking damn. This is simply not acceptable in a competitive game such as Spellweaver. Yeah, I agree. Like mana cost? Yeah, I think mana cost increased to 1, which definitely would make sense. Oh boy. And here we have another thing. They patched out the fun even more. Azaris, the Burning Agony, which is a legendary, which is supposed to have like a pretty good ability. Added activation cost of 1 to the damage that is dealt when cards are decayed. I wouldn't say Azaris is dead. I wouldn't say milling is dead. Obviously not. But maybe we see a little bit less Azaris in ranked. Yeah, I can see why this is being changed. You know, there is nothing for me to bitch about this. Because obviously, it's a little bit OP if you really think about it. But then again, you know, Azaris is a legendary. So is the Elder Red Dragon. The thing is, Elder Red Dragon, if you nerf Azaris like this, and I can, this is a change that, you know, I can still live with, because with this change, Azaris is not dead, but it's definitely a little bit harder to basically win an entire game by just dropping an Azaris. The thing, however, with Azaris milling, by the way, is that you basically have to go down to maybe 7, even 6, maybe even 5 H Pizzle, and then you drop a Azaris and go for the whole milling spiel, where you like mill out the enemy, like with a Vulture, with a Flash of Delirium combo. Now, it's not gonna be that easy anymore, because, you know, before you just ramp up, and take damage to the face. Can't really do anything about it. Maybe, like, you have to run more, maybe you have to run Whitix, Giddix, Comsion now. Maybe, because he has more life total. Could be a thing. But what I wanted to say, by the way, what I wanted to touch on is, if you nerf this legendary, because I think, by the way, CPT Chaotic mentioned this multiple times under my videos, then fucking, even though it's not as obnoxious, obviously, but fucking nerf Elder Red Dragon then. If you nerf this legendary, then add a sleep to Elder Red Dragon. Elder Red Dragon hits you for 5 damage consecutively if you have the mana, provided you have the mana. You fucking Molten Passageway the guy for 2 mana. So it's more likely that you basically hit the enemy for 10 damage with Dragonfire from the Elder Red Dragon and go face! It's insane! Add a sleep to it when you use Dragonfire with this guy. Just a little bit of a thing. Even though, no, wait, he's not even legendary. He's not even legendary! Now, well, but still, you know, I would add a sleep, actually, to whenever you use the card's ability. Because, wouldn't that make sense? I think it would. Even though, then again, you know, there is not really... I mean, at least I didn't have... Or just ramp up the mana cost to 5 mana for a Dragonfire and not 4. Because 4 is a little bit ridiculous. And then, you know, he has 5 H Pizzle, so it's pretty hard to remove him if you don't run, like the freezing package. So, yeah, I would actually say, like, add, like, sleep to Elder Red Dragon whenever you use the card's ability. And maybe even buff up, like, the cost to 5, because every Rage deck that I've seen so far, everyone that runs Rage, at least, with Molten Passageway, of course, runs an Elder Red Dragon, and sometimes, yeah, goes for, like, 2 Dragonfires and damage to the face, and that's 15 damage in 1 turn, and nah. Azaris makes possible some crazy turns where it can deal upwards of 15 damage in a single turn, no matter how well the opponent is prepared because of Swift. Then just remove Swift, for fuck's sake. The 1 mana activation will make the card much fairer and less swingy, while hopefully still playable. Yeah, you know, as I've stated, you have to ramp up really well if you don't play Molten Passageway. You have to ramp up really well. Still, and then you don't really play any creatures before Azaris, because you want to go with the combo of the Vultures and the Flash of Deliriums and whatnot. Now, with that one more mana could actually be the crucial part where you just lose, because as I've stated, you know, you take damage to the face over and over and over again until you maybe are down to 7 HP until you can actually do fucking something. So, maybe don't make everyone pay 1 mana for the damage. Just remove the Swift ability, maybe? Maybe that would be a thing. Because, you know, sometimes you can't even attack, because if you run Snacks, you actually can't attack, because the enemy can fucking block it with Snacks in the first place. And, yeah, so you just do damage with milling, basically, and that's a little bit too mana costly, I think, at this point, then. But we're gonna see if it's still being played. Gonna be interesting to see. Speaking of C, CFC, Cavalry Field Captain, is the next one. That is actually kinda surprising. Awesome card, by the way. The ability to retreat from combat was removed. Oh yeah, I remember, am I gonna say it? Yeah, I made a video with Hallyaw a couple of days ago, by the way. This video was gonna see the light of the interwebs in June. beginning of June. So definitely check, wait out for that. We made like 2 videos, pretty awesome. Still under the old patch, by the way. But CFC, the ability to retreat from combat was removed. Yeah, all y'all told me that CFC was being nerfed, and it was a little bit scary because the card is awesome, and I would love to see it not changed. But yeah, the retreat thing was never something that I've actually seen someone do. So okay. This is a small change in a card that is good because of its first power. The +1/+1/+1 buff it provides, definitely. The second power of KFC is simply too much. What? Is he fucking trolling? And is often overlooked because the first power dominates so much. Its function is also not apparent for new players, and KFC is in the starter decks, so we wanted to simplify the card, while also reducing its power level just a tiny bit. Yeah, as I've said, I've never seen the retreat thing being played in the first place, so I don't know if he's trolling or not, but yeah, I have never used it. I've never seen it being used, neither in like Masters, neither in Conquest, from anyone that runs Order, from anyone that runs KFC. But yeah, so that's not a huge nerf, maybe not even at all. So yeah, overall, I would say we have 1 nerf to Trigon. We have not necessarily a nerf. I would say it's a good balance for Timea. We have a nerf to Molten Passageway. We have a nerf to Harbinger. We have a nerf to Haunt. We have a not gonna talk on that because that's just crap, because the card is still in the game. Celestial Blossom, that's a nerf. Azera's nerf. CFC is still the same thing, so that's just a change. So we are about like 4 to 5 nerfs and 2 changes. So far, yeah, that's definitely gonna change the landscape a little bit. People are still gonna play Trigon, however, people are still gonna play Timea, people are still gonna play Molten, because the cards are still playable, obviously. Harbinger is still a thing. Haunt is probably, yeah, it's still gonna be pretty prominent, because that 1 Enchained Soul, that 1 4-speed blocker potentially is still pretty good. Cho'Rails is still being played. Celestial Blossom, of course, you have to run it in artifacts because it's still an awesome card, and that doesn't hit it too hard, and it's still playable, so good on that. Azeris, gonna be probably not as prominent as it was. At least it's not like a total waste, like they did with Shrieking Banshee. I'm still a little bit salty about that, because patching out the fun with the 1-turn heal, yeah, with the Banshee heal combo that Riri came up with, or made prominent actually, is kind of shitty. CFC, yeah, as I've stated, you know, that's just it doesn't matter. He's still in, obviously. So yeah, all the cards that are being changed, I think are still a thing. Maybe a little less Azeris milling, so maybe I have to go back to regular milling, which is still fun, because we still have the Deathbound Incarnate, right? So yeah, that was it for the May 23rd balance changes. Fucking half an hour again. Yeah, let me know in the comments, by the way, what you think about this, because that is actually a really big patch that they came up with, just out of nowhere, basically. And after Masters, there's bound to be like more nerfs. And definitely, by the way, if you are in the balance team, make the good suggestion. And like the only possible way for everyone to be happy about the fucking Cho'Rail Silencer situation is to fucking remove it from the fucking game. No one is gonna try it. No one is gonna shed a tear about that. Maybe some players who like play 1-turn heal, maybe all the 80,000 fucking players who play Wisdom Rage in ranked and play Silencer with that crap, maybe they're gonna shed a tear, but no one cares about those players anyway. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about the changes. Yeah, I'll see you in the next Spellweaver related video. And fucking remove Silencer.